Hey guys, it's Ray at ourvoiceoverguy.com with another quick tutorial, and by quick, it probably usually means about 10 minutes. Wanted to really go over one of the requests that I had after my last video, which was mixing vocals into your track in Adobe Audition 3.0. So did a little searching on YouTube to see what was currently out there. There's a lot of tutorials on Pro Tools, a few on Adobe Audition. In fact, there was one that I thought was kind of funny. There was a guy who was showing how to do stuff. And listen, I don't, begrudge anybody for doing this. I mean, I'm doing this for free, kind of, trying to help people out. And I've picked up some voiceover work because of it. So it's a win for me. But one guy had posted that he was teaching folks how to do it for $250 and to hit them up. So the ironic part, the funny part of the video was that you couldn't hear any of the track that he was playing back. So he'd say, it sounds a little, too much delay. And he'd go in there and correct it and then play it, and you couldn't hear anything. So he showed the steps. You just couldn't hear what had been done. So hopefully we won't have the issue here, and we'll go ahead and try to make this as quick as possible. But here is what we're going to be listening to and what we're going to try to mix and work on a few things that might help you in your final mix.
Sorrow in my soul, 'cause it seems that wrong really loves my company. He's more than a man, and this is more than love. The reason that the sky is blue.
All right, that's a little unknown girl that's out there right now. Her name's Rihanna, I believe. You might have heard of her. I'm just kidding. It's called Unfaithful. Great song. And we are going to go ahead and play around with this. Now, the reason that I started off by showing you the original version of this song is because you don't want to recreate the wheel. If you're doing something that is in the rap game and you want to do something that's kind of Tupac-ish or, whoever, if it's Kanye West, whatever it is that you're trying to emulate or be like or sound like, or maybe not trying to sound like any of them, but your style is sort of their style. Pull up one of the tracks, throw it on Adobe Audition, look at the levels, look kind of where their instrumentals kind of stay at in the waveform. And I'll go ahead and open this back up again. When you hit the plus button here, you can kind of open this up a little bit, and you can tell when the instrumental starts off right here with some of the violins that come in, you kind of see where everything's at -6, -5 dB. That's where your kind of instrumental track goes all the way through here. As the vocals come in, they kind of go a little higher, so it's anywhere from -6 to -2 decibel. And then you can see those right here along the side here. Here's your decibels. And you can watch kind of what's on a current mix that's out there and know where you're, what you're going after, what you're trying to achieve. There's nothing wrong with piggybacking on someone else's success if you're trying to do it right. If it's a standard in the industry that it's finally mixed down and vocals come out at about -5, -2 dB on a finished track, and instrumental bed goes no higher than -6, well, you have some starting points to go with. And by no means am I an expert in mixing vocals. I do a lot of voiceover work with music beds in the background, so I'm good at mixing those two. So my vocals are more the predominant thing that you hear all the time. Well, in music, sometimes that's not so much the case. Sometimes you need it to be this equal blend of 50-50, if you will. And sometimes the vocals come out just a little bit more. Maybe you want some of the vocals to be a little bit laid back in the background. So this will go after some of that. So you're able to take an existing track, whatever the song is that may be close to something that you're doing, and just try to emulate some of those decibel rates, be it from the instrumental, the bed, or the vocal track. Okay, so let's go back. One of the things we're going to, right now, we'll go to, since we did that, we'll go ahead and mute that. We don't need that anymore. In fact, we'll just take, we'll keep that there for reference. We'll mute that track. We're going to go up here to the instrumental, open that up, and you can see where this starts off. Take a listen. So you can see right in this area right here when the violins came in, you're looking at probably -7 to -5 with the violins that hit in there. So if you have a piece where you're doing some violins or a guitar that comes in for a small piece for a solo, you can kind of get the idea of where this flows with the regular bed, the beginning track here and throughout here. And then here's some of your accents with the violins right here. And kind of play around with those so you kind of get the idea. You'll see in some of these higher patterns here. And if you know the song, that's the bridge just before the chorus. So that's the real dramatic kind of climax piece just before the chorus goes into the song, and you see kind of where this is at. And it kind of tells a story if you look at it, just like anything else. A good movie or anything you watch, there's a slow kind of beginning, maybe a little interesting part to pique your interest, to go back into the storyline a little bit more dramatic, and then boom, right into the chorus through here. And it's a very, very emotional song, so you can kind of see that whole thing happening right before your eyes, which is kind of cool. So let's take that now, and we will go to the a cappella piece, and we'll start it right here. Now again, this is finished already. This already has reverb on there, and if you listen to the original, try to break down the vocals. What are they adding to it? Are they widening it a little bit? Are they adding some echo, a little bit of reverb, studio reverb? Are they adding a little chorus to it? Do you hear any background singers, anything like that? So you're going to hear the echo or the little bit of reverb in this track. Here we go.
Story of my life, searching for the right, but it keeps avoiding me. Sorrow in my soul, cause it seems that wrong really loves my company.
Now, we're going to go ahead and mess around with this here, but you can see where the vocal tracks go all over. In this track as well, you can see where it clips here, right over 0. So you want to go ahead and minimize that if you can. It's not too horrible. But again, you can see that this has gone through dynamics processing. It's gone through compression. It's very even, low and high. So this work's already been done. On yours, you can go back to one of my other tutorials that talks about the everyday cleanup that I do on my vocal work, which basically takes you through the dynamics processing. I go to Compander, make sure it's an S curve. I do that. After that, we go ahead and what else do we do? I can give you a couple things that we do real quick. We go to normalize, and that'll kind of bring up your peak volumes as close to the highest peak that you'll have here. If you have any kind of clipping or anything like that, you can put hard limiting on it. We're not going to worry about that right now because basically this is a finished vocal, so we'll move forward with that. So what we're going to do now is open this back up in multi-track. I'll show you a couple things that you can do with your voice. We won't need it on this particular track. We're going to get rid of this one now so we can open it up. But one of the things that you could do is make a copy of your vocal track, place it down here, and then you can let's mute that. You can hear the two side by side.
Story of my life, searching for the right, but it keeps avoiding me.